changes
Yeah.
things. You know what I mean?
Exactly. The joke is whenever Muay Thai people get thrown, but that's against the rules. That's okay. That's their thing. You do anything that's not like a sweep from the clinch or whatever. That's against the rules. That's against
Right,
the
right, right.
rules. So yeah, like Sanda has a time and a place. Just like in the early days, a lot of times Sanda would not be able to beat Muay Thai, but then once Sanda adapted to how Muay Thai people fought, like Sanda people were winning all the time.
Right. Yeah, there was a couple of stadium fights where they had the open rules, and it definitely went in the Sanda guy's favor. Just like I said, that grappling aspect, it will either stunt them from wanting to come forward, or not to clinch or to throw kicks, which is, I mean, that's their staple. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is knock moist, throw those heavy kicks, but they're getting caught and they're being thrown. You know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So while I set up, this was great. I pressed live as we started in this conversation, so this was like a perfect lead into this. So the way YouTube works, because we're streaming through Zoom, it's not very good at doing a lot of the settings, the customization. So I have to add all that
When
now
I tried
before.
on YouTube, it said I could add you, but then I don't know what happened. It wouldn't let me. I couldn't find you.
Oh, I see. It's weird. The whole Zoom is because it's a third party, right? YouTube wants you to use its own shitty little like live stream. But then if you really wanted something better, you would have to pay for it. That's the issue. Zoom is the best thing to do right now since I already accidentally paid for Zoom. So it's like might as well just use it. All these companies, right? They're so good at like, oh, free trial, and then you don't even know it's a free trial, or sometimes you do know and you
Right.
accidentally pay for it anyways. But like I didn't know I signed up for a free trial, and then randomly they're like, oh, to keep going you have to pay. I was like, I didn't know I was in a free trial. So now I've paid for Zoom. They got me.
Yeah, you got you.
Yeah, so let me check one thing really quickly and then we can get started.
How's the one in
Um,
Cali, man? Is it hot, cold?
it is mercurial. So depending on the time of day, it can get really cold or hot. So yeah, we're
I
good.
don't know.
Our connections go. We're good. So yeah, Joe and Xavier, aka X, aka Hurricane. Joe, do you have like a cool nickname like Hurricane or something like that?
My nickname is from Capoeira. It's Formiga, but it
Oh,
doesn't mean anything cool. It's just ant that crawls on the ground. That's
wow.
it.
Wow. So that's so cool that like you do Sanda and Capoeira. Oh, you
Yeah.
must be able to find the coolest combos, bro.
We were just
We
talking. We
just
have we
did
have a
like an hour of takedowns, like all from Sanda. He did some of his capoeiras. It was insane. Like I
Did you
got
guys film some
videos.
of that for later?
Yeah, yeah, I got a lot. I
yeah,
got a lot of videos. We're gonna edit compilation. We're gonna do a lot.
Perfect.
I'll be doing a lot on my channel, on my YouTube as well. And
Yeah.
I'll send you some as well, so you can commentate.
Yeah.
You know what I
Please,
mean?
please.
Definitely,
That's
dude.
awesome.
Definitely.
So let's go ahead and ask, how did you two meet?
So originally, so I've got a school here in Spring Hill, which is essentially Tampa Bay area, Florida,
Uh-huh.
and so we were doing mainly Siam, the Siam card, which now is the Dynasty Fight League, which was more of a standard Muay Thai, promotion for the amateur world. So we were looking to branch out, and there were some other shows locally, and then somebody was like, you should reach out to Fighters Rep. There's guys like Asa Tenpao. They're guys from FKA fight on that card. And I'm like, oh man, that must be a great show. So I reached out to the original owner, or that was the contact that was given to me. And he was like, well, you got to get in contact with Xavier. He's our matchmaker. And so I wrote him, and then I think we ended up calling because I think one of the guys that I submitted to you,
Yeah,
his stats looked just like somebody that you had
yeah,
needed for the weekend.
correct.
And then he called, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm seeing him in the photos, and I'm like, no, no, this is a Sanda guy. Like I understand like it's a kickboxing show. I'm like, but we've been at all the tournaments together. At least from my experience, I've seen him like all the time in the ICMAC tournaments down here.
Hmm.
And so we're on the phone. I'm like, dude, look, this is gonna sound weird. Do you do Sanda? And he's like, yeah. What do you mean? Like nobody says that word anymore around here.
Ah!
It's like it's so dead,
I was like, what do you mean? Sanda, hold up.
when somebody like nobody just throws that term Sanda. Like we hear like Sancho a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's kind of just like a general whatever.
Mhm.
But Sanda is like, man, and then he's like, wait, what do you know about Sanda? I'm like, I've competed in every, like, you know what I mean? Have my guys in almost all the tournaments since, like 2008,
Yeah.
so we just kind of hit it off from then. And then, he's like, I'm coming up your way, man. So
Yeah, dude.
It's funny
That's
because
cool.
the ICMAC YouTube channel, like it hasn't been updated for years. So like
And,
I'm glad we're sort of hopefully people can see this, whether ICMAC or other Sanda enthusiasts or pros in America can be like, oh yeah, there's a way to build a following online because obviously locally sometimes it might feel a little bit like people got other things going on, but online you can get a lot of support, man. So this is just the beginning. But yeah,
oh, for
ICMAC
sure.
right now only has 639 subscribers. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude,
Wow.
that channel's been around about what, 16 years?
hmm
Oh, yeah, it's got to be
16 years, dude.
It's got to be.
16
Yeah.
years. How's it not
Yep.
grown? You know what
yeah,
I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I see. So Joe, how did you start your Sanda journey?
So everything for me, everything starts back. It was like a progression. So my base art is capoeira. No,
Mhm.
like no matter how you slice it, it is capoeira. I'm a professor in capoeira. In Grupo
Wow.
Malé. So I've been doing it for like 20 plus years. Um, so I start capoeira, find jujitsu. From jujitsu, find Muay Thai. From Muay Thai, I started to dabble in MMA, and then eventually I had a guy, Brandon Watts was his name. He was kind of coming into the gym and teaching some MMA, things like that. And he had a Jeet Kune Do kind of background where he would do some concepts like that. And he was like, "Hey man, you at this point in time in Florida, there was no amateur MMA scene, so you did amateur Muay Thai or boxing or whatever, and then you did your jiu-jitsu tournaments, and then this was even in the time like where you could go from having zero fights as an amateur, just paying your fee and becoming a pro, essentially in
Wow.
the pro world. So we were looking for another avenue to take our guys where they can get that transition between striking to takedowns.
Yeah.
So he was like, you should check out the Sanda scene. And I'm like, I didn't even know what that was at that time. He's like, no, Nick Screama's got this tournament. He hosts it all the time. He's people, flying in from like Azerbaijan, you know what I mean? Sometimes.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right, cool. We're interested. And the first one that we ever went to, we were hooked and just became like a thing for our guys ever since. And originally, we were fighting in the Sanda tournaments without the traditional Sanda knowledge. We were just doing the things that we knew, like our Muay Thai, and then my capoeira takedowns and judo that we would include, along with
Ooh.
wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually I found like John Way, and he was probably one of the pioneers, I would say, in Sanda. His guys were always killing it at the tournaments, and I'm like, man, I got to learn from this guy. So yeah,
Wow,
that's kind
that's
of how,
cool.
how I got into it.
And then eventually you started your own gym too.
Yeah, yeah. So in 2008 was originally when I started my very first gym. It was called Elite Valley Tudo. I was 22 years old at
Wow.
that time. And I knew nothing about how to run a gym. We were just kind of in the need of a gym. The gym that we were training at originally here in this town, smaller town, had closed down. And funny story, I get it all the time from all the guys that know. I don't lead with it, but the money came from me doing that movie Never Back Down. So
wait, you did it?
so yeah, dude, bro, I don't lead with it. I don't lead. I don't lead with it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't lead with it. But in 2008, I was in Never Back Down. I fought the main character. His name is Sean Ferris. I fought him in the ending beatdown scene. I get whooped up super quick, man.
That was you. No
That
one I
was
recognize the Colty.
yeah.
Bro.
Whoa.
I like the scene is like we have a little quick little back and forth. I throw a hook, he victory rolls me, and then knee bars me. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
I got cool
sorry.
little
Oh my
check
God.
from that, and so that's what we used to open up the first gym. And that's I think what we kind of solidified our name, at least between me and some of the other coaches here in this town. And then life took its twists and turns. We went different directions, and then in 2014 we came back. 2013, where we were hired at another local gym where we would teach our respective arts, where Coach Justin would teach Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and I would teach the striking.
hmm
Um, but for me, it's always been I take like the Bruce Lee's kind of like approach to it. You know what I mean? You don't want to train the man to be a machine. You want to train him to be human.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the seamless blend between striking and throwing and defensive movements for grappling come in. So I've always included Sanda in that. And so from there, we had a couple of fighters out of this gym, and then we kind of had that gym had closed up too. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with teaching, at this point, and I kind of pursued my own fighting career. Um, and then it just so happened that, like I was telling Xavier last night, I ended up getting like tons of private lessons, calls from some of my old guys. Like, Coach, can you just spend an hour with me? And whatever it was, be it capoeira or sanda or Muay Thai, whatever. And then I built like 20 clients up that were coming to my home. Like, we got to do something with you guys. We got them in one spot, and then another 20 something. I got them in another spot. I'm like, this is crazy. And that's the history of it ever since. And now we're kind of just we're a staple in this particular county here. I feel.
Mm-hmm. I see. And what is the school called now?
We're called Primal Striking and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Primal
Oh, I
Striking and
see.
BJJ.
And BJJ, cool. All right.
Yeah, and we kind of went with striking originally, just because I thought it was like an all-encompassing thing. You know what I mean? Like, we're not
Yeah.
just the Dutch style of kickboxing or Muay Thai. We're everything. So
Yeah.
As it should,
punch, kick, throw.
as it should. You know what I mean? That's what
Wow.
I've
Oh,
always
that's
believed in.
cool. Yeah, I found your Facebook. You guys don't have a YouTube channel yet, right?
No, we don't have a
Okay.
YouTube channel yet.
Okay. I see. Cool. And so tell me, what's the plan now? I guess both of you, Xavier and Joe, what's the plan now for Sanda? What do you guys think now?
What we're thinking, we're thinking we need to make it noticeable, man. Bring it back. Like, I'm willing to start my own promotion for Sanda and boxing just to
Mhm.
get it back out there. Like, yo, this sport does exist. There is
Yeah.
we do have the U.S. American Wushu Federation, like I told you, like you saw the patch.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, they kind of, what I've noticed over time, the sport itself, like with the Nick Scrima's IMAC, ICMAC, like, it just, once MMA blew up, or once UFC came to what it is now, they completely forgot about the art.
Yeah.
They completely forgot about the art. They started promoting more of Muay Thai because of the movies, this and the third. When it's like, dude, Sanda's been around since the 90s. I remember the first IMAC back in what, 1999 with Jason Yee versus Kung Lee. And that was like the passing of the torch when two legends were actually did a professional Sanda fight. And it
Yeah.
was broadcasted, I think, on it was on WB 39. And this is like people forgot. It's like, dude, this sport's been around. There was always kickboxing with takedowns. It's just people forgot. Then they what's the word I like to say? I say they like to overly hype Muay Thai to the point where they think that's the only striking art. You still have, like, for example, you have David LeDuc, that he's a former Sanshao guy, and he does some of the sweeps in his own fights, and he's a left away guy. You know what I mean? That's another style of kickboxing that people don't seem to think that it's out there. It exists. It includes
Yeah.
headbutts, knees, elbows, kicks, punches. So it's like there's so many different, when it comes to kickboxing or striking in general, there's so many different realms that people seem to, Muay Thai. Like, they automatically see you striking, they automatically see Muay Thai.
Yeah.
It's like, what, you got karate, you got like so many different sub forms to the main form. It's insane.
Yeah.
And people forget, man. People
Yeah,
really forget.
exactly. And just to add to that, I mean, think about one championship, right? One championship promotes striking only type matches, and look how popular it is. So it's proof that a lot of people, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your interpretation, don't like to watch the ground stuff. And I get it, it's much more
Like,
technical. The pace of it changes. So it's like, I don't blame them. Like, sometimes you just want a match to stay on the ground. Or sorry, you just want a match to stay up.
And I would say that, and I hold a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu under Fabio Novaes, and I love the art of Jiu Jitsu, but when I'm watching something that's like a high stakes competitive match, I like to see them striking. Not that I don't enjoy, like, I just love watching the Craig Jones Invitational. I love watching ADCCs and all those things. It's beautiful. In terms of striking, sometimes I like to keep the forms pure, in a sense. And what I will say is I'm very excited to see some of the international Sanda athletes on the karate combat stage. I think
Mm.
that rule set is very interesting to me.
There is one guy. He is training at a Go Shed. He's a former world Sanda
Yes,
guy.
yes.
And he's in karate combat. Competes.
I think he's from. Is he from? That's the guy from
Iran,
Pakistan.
Pakistan,
Pakistan.
Pakistani.
And that kid is
Whoa.
tremendous.
I gotta
He is
look that up.
tremendous.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I gotta look that up. I didn't know there was a Pakistani
Yeah,
Sanda guy.
yeah. I have his Instagram. It's like I forget his name. I'll send
Yeah,
it to you.
Shazib Rind.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, I
yes,
gotta
yes,
look
yes,
this
yes,
up
yes, yes, yes.
ASAP, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
please.
this is awesome. Thank you guys for this lead right
You're
here.
welcome.
Yeah. I think the rule set can fall right into a traditional Sanda practitioners rule set just because they'll go from kick punches. They'll allow them to grab the kicks and to sweep and to throw, and they don't have
Yeah.
to follow the opponent down. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a particular throw. They can anything that they want. So there's no like it doesn't have to be a dump like in Muay Thai, like what we were just talking about. Doesn't
Yeah.
have to just be a sweep. It can be a throw. They can grab it. The hip can be a fulcrum. I mean, I think everything in that particular rule set has the dynamic to make some Sanda fighters like legends. You know what I mean?
Wow, this is awesome.
Quick, funny story. The actual president, he's a former Sancho guy.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday guy.
Yeah.
Asim Zadi.
Asim Zadi.
Wow.
He's a
Cool.
former
Yeah.
Sancho.
So again, like I hope people watching this, whether now or later, will know that there's a lot of potential, man. There's a lot of potential because you can see from fight commentary breakdowns. When I feature judo, people love it. When I feature jiu-jitsu, people don't like it. That's why I have to switch the jiu-jitsu content to a separate channel. But obviously, this is why Sanda appeals. As long as there's a throw, but you don't follow it to the ground, sure, everyone wants to watch it. Even the most type of person, right? Even that person will understand a throw.
Right. And I think what's really cool, with the karate combat is it will allow them to throw and to follow them to the ground to a certain point. I believe they've got to keep one knee off of the mat while they can deliver the strike. So the essence of Sanda being like clean throws, as long as the throw is clean, they can maintain a top position and still continue their attack, forcing the person to defend, or if their knee touches, they just stand right back up. So that kind of eliminates the whole grappling aspect.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, this is great. This is great. Yeah. I found the match. I linked it in the chat, but the one with Shanzib Ring versus Rana Singh, right? That's like, oh, this is great.
Yes.
I mean, he just had another fight just recently. I can't remember how it was fairly recent, and it was like a comeback story, man. The kids got heart, man. It was tremendous to watch.
Yeah.
It looked like he might have been on the wrong end of the fight, and he came back and I mean, just showed heart. It was amazing.
Wow. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So now I know a video to cover. And dude, Joe, whenever you have any video, send it to me. You can get my contact through to Hurricane, and we can I would love to feature more Sanda always. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I just know there's this stuff's gonna take off, man. This stuff I know for sure it's gonna take off, and I hope it helps the paradigm too, because it's just like it's not that you shouldn't go to the ground in the street, but I've seen some very cringeworthy going to the ground. There's this one that was featured by one of these jiu-jitsu channels. They were like complimenting the guy, where the guy took the guy on to the ground. You know, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He's taking the guy to the ground into the middle of the street, and there's cars coming by, and they're like complimenting. Yeah, you did like the right thing. No, you didn't do the right thing. You know, that's what I mean. I love jiu-jitsu, right? But at least a little bit of cult thinking. I'm sure as a black belt, you've seen the cringe from jiu-jitsu.
So I used to bounce in Tampa, one of the nightclubs, and there was times where the jiu-jitsu was practical, but in those scenarios, it was usually one-on-one situation. You know, I've seen it to where some of my other security guards would be on top of somebody, and the girlfriend would come up and soccer kick them in the face.
Woo!
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you don't want to dedicate yourself to one person when there's multiple people around.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where the standing striking. I can remember fighting on a landing of a stairwell, and being such a small area to work with, I didn't want to be dedicated to one person. So as they would come, we would throw, boom, and throw, and hit, strike, and throw, because that was the only thing that made sense if I was
Yeah.
to dedicate myself to a grappling match. You know what I mean? I could have potentially been hurt. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that
I was at a seminar the other day, and it was one of those incidents where he got into a street fight. A bunch of people attacked him, right? And he's he's like really pounding a guy, attached to him, right? And of course, the guy bites him. Now, obviously, if you're in a not dominant position, you bite, you're gonna pay for it, right? But the thing is, he's bitten, and then of course, just like you said, there's a girlfriend coming over hitting him while he's getting bitten, and of course he fights both of them off, and they lose. The people that are ganging up on lose the fight, but he has a permanent scar right here from being bitten. Like this stuff happens. And
Yeah,
he
absolutely,
realized too, like
absolutely.
he's like, oh my God, next time I'm not gonna like take it to the ground. I'm not gonna tangle with one person, even if I think he's like the strongest. It's crazy.
For sure, and that's why, going back to almost one of the original things that we said at the beginning was, knowing when and why we're blending certain arts, because ultimately, like I tell the guys here, I'll never, anybody that steps foot in my gym, I'll never chase them down and be like, hey, you got to fight for me. Never ask them to fight, never ask them even if they're interested in fighting, but I will always try to prepare them for what they're going to face outside, because you don't always get to choose.
Yep.
And so if you're only privy to one art, that might not be the tool that you need, that particular case. You know what I mean? It's like, I tell them, it's like trying to build a house with just a hammer. When you need the screwdriver or the saw and you don't have it, you're going to wish you did.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Wow. This is great. This is awesome. So tell me about the next thing we can expect. Joe, are you going to help Xavier with his upcoming promotion? What's the plan with that?
That would be cool, man. I mean, I think we were just talking the other day on the phone about, a couple different avenues to go down, and one of my thoughts was, to build a base for it was to make almost like an open style rule set, where we can let the Knock Moist come in and let the Sanda guys come in
and just go at it
and
like
go
you
at
did
it.
back in the day.
You know what I mean?
Your sport against my sport. You can have your rules. We'll see what's up.
Because eventually what we're trying to do, if we're trying to further, like, again, if we're trying to create men and not just machines, I think that the blend of the two is going to force an evolution to be a complete striker. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to get thrown just because we're clinching. You have to become a little bit more educated and intelligent in your approach to the clinch, or how you're setting up your movements. You're being in alignment with them to defend shots and things like that is super important.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And then, I mean, Joe, the invitation's here. Just whenever, I might even reach out to you in the future. And same with Hurricane. It's like whenever I need like opinion, like if I feature more side, I'm like, I got some experts here who can weigh in.
You gotta still come out here, bro.
Yeah, I will. I need to visit Florida ASAP, man. Maybe one day I'm gonna come to Florida. It's just like, Florida seems. I'm studying taxes right now, right? And Florida doesn't even have state tax. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Just saying.
Yeah.
You stuck in Cali, you paying how much?
Yeah, way too much, man. Gotta find me a Latino wife too, build a family out here. You guys gotta introduce me. You guys introduce me some Latinas.
Gotta come down to where he's at. You'll find one ASAP, man.
Oh man. I don't know. Miami's a little crazy, bro.
I know, that's what people say. Yeah, exactly. I
Might
guess
need a Puerto Rican chick from Orlando, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's next in your journey, Joe? Like, is there any other art you want to study? Tell me about your journey. Are you still gonna do more film stuff?
The film thing, I think, was a fluke, man. I tried my hand at that. It just the scene in and of itself is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just the business, I should say, of that is not really for me. It was great experience. I wouldn't trade it. I've submitted my name to the Karate Combat, looking to get a little bit more action underway here potentially. I am 37 years old, so I'm getting up there, in our fight window. I would like to dabble in that if I could. Next year, I am looking to do the police academy. So there's going to be a little bit of a moment where I have to pause some things, and play student again, gym owner, father. So I got a super busy schedule laid out. I would, like I said, in terms of my fight career, I would like the opportunity to compete at the Karate Combat.
Yeah.
Try my hand in the way that I've blended my striking arts, the capoeira, Sanda, Muay Thai, so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It would be so cool. You in karate combat, like every time you mess with your opponent's mind, give yourself a different style. So like one time you're the capoeira guy, so they think you're gonna be capoeira, and then you do Sanda.
Right.
The next time you tell them you're a Sanda fighter and you do capoeira,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah. And to my knowledge, I don't think that there's a capoeirista that's in karate combat yet. Now we know that the Rind he fights under Sanda, and then there's tons of Kyokushin guys and
Yeah.
Shotokan guys, and the Muay Thai is a style now too that they've allowed in. We've just seen like Jabbar Oskarov in there, and quite a few other knock moys that are like legend. Gabriel Varga.
Yeah, Gabriel Varga. Yeah.
Interesting match. I mean, nobody can say anything about Gabriel's career. That man has been insane. But I will tell you this: this is what makes the Sanda aspect so interesting. Is that as soon as he came into karate combat, I forget the guy that he fought from overseas somewhere. Wears a goatee, but he had a
Oh my God.
he has a wrestling more of like an MMA style, background, and the situations where Gabriel would close the distance and put the pressure striking wise, he nullified it with takedowns, and I believe he ended up winning that match.
Wow.
And that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You got to make your strikers a little bit more intelligent in the way that they use it, or at least be ready to defend grappling aspects. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What did you have planned next for you two? Like, since you guys are hanging out, are you gonna train more for the rest of the weekend? Are you guys gonna make more content? What's on the menu?
Probably maybe train a little bit more. I don't know. It's really because I work tomorrow too. And I got the drive was about what, 6 hours?
6 hours from my
It was
Oh
6 hours from my
wow,
house to drive.
Florida's
Yeah.
big, man. I
That drive
forget
was-
how big Florida is.
That drive was like almost 7 hours yesterday with the amount of car accidents. I saw a freaking truck melted on the highway on fire. I was like,
Woo!
what the hell is this, dude?
Yeah. I think like Xavier pointed out, and I think I'll probably be the next one to make a trip down that way too. Not just to train with the Xavier, but you were telling me about the Dagestani guy.
We also have the Dagestanian champion from Sanda, Sanshao. His name is Murad R8. I sent you the video clip of him a while back. Murad.
Mhm.
He actually texted me last night. I was about to text you.
Okay.
Him and King Mo. They texted me.
Okay,
They just said,
that's what.
and I told them about the promotion. They're like, "Do you need help? Do you need fighters? I got you." King Mo was already sending fighters on last night.
That's crazy.
Then Murad
Oh,
was
that's
texting me
great.
back. He's like, "Hey, Xavier, you want to do boxing too for your promotion?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to do stand-up and boxing." He's like, "I'm friends with the guy that owns the whole commission
That's pretty
thing."
crazy.
I was like, "Let's go, let's do it."
Yeah, that's insane. I didn't know anything about that, but yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's awesome. Okay, perfect. So it looks like, well, every time you guys visit each other, let's do more of these talks. I think that's definitely in the cards. And then as I feature more Sanda, if I have a question or something like that, I'll just like get you guys in on guest segments. I offer this to Michael Claycomb too, the karateka that I feature on my channel. So
good dude.
yeah, so like for you guys, and if there's ever like a Sanda match you guys want to break down, feel free to just like send me your breakdowns or whatever, and then I'm
Okay.
always down to feature. And
We still
you know,
got to break down. But oh yeah, that K1. There's a K1 video I sent him of a Sanda guy fighting in K1 for the very first time. There's like what 2002.
yeah, it was
2003.
early.
And yeah, it's been a pain in the butt for him to break down because
Right,
K1
right.
is like
Oh
K1 is a Pele, bro. We've been trying to break down that fight because I was like, yo, remember this? He's like, dude, 2003? I was like, yeah, bro. This is when they banned a lot of Chinese fighters.
I think that there was even there was a shoot boxing, right? Was the name of one of the
Yes.
promotions too, where they
There's a
fight
Sanda guy.
spats, and there
Yes,
was a Sanda
yes.
guy, yeah, and they're
They fought Jens Pulver in shoot boxing.
Yep.
Yep.
And the Kunlun promotion in China, they've got a lot of Sanda guys in there
Yeah.
as well. They're just not allowed to throw. I think is part of the rules. It's more like a K1
Yeah,
rule
it's
set.
more like a K1
Yeah.
rule set. They still do a throw here and there, but they obviously get in trouble.
Right.
But a lot of even the Muay Thai guys, they'll do their sweeps, and then it's like, wait, so y'all gonna? And they're like, the referee like, I fuck it.
That's what I say, man. Let them go. Let them go.
Let 'em
on
go.
their open rule set.
An open rule set, let them go. You know what I mean? Why
So Xavier, for
Yeah.
the upcoming promotion tournament, are you guys gonna do small gloves or big gloves?
I'm gonna keep
Or is
it
that kind of to be
way more.
decided?
I'm gonna do big gloves. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do big gloves
Okay.
because people seem to forget that this is a style before even MMA gloves were really a thing.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
you had to learn to really, if your technique had to be on point when
yeah,
it came to the wrestling, to the catching,
yeah,
kicks. Because if it was not on point, you won't see the real beauty of the sweeps, the takedowns.
Right.
yeah,
When you actually see a guy with boxing gloves be able to catch a kick or catch a punch and throw you on your ass, that right in itself, it's an art form. It's like, Jesus,
Yep.
dude, he has a handicap. He cannot
Yeah.
really, he literally has to cup like this.
yeah,
You got to cup like this the whole time, dude.
yeah,
So I'm gonna keep it big glove,
Yeah.
officially big glove. I'm not doing the MMA
I,
glove.
I like that. I like the big glove. I do think that there's an art to that. You know, being able to clamp and hold in different ways, like gi and no gi. You know, the different grips that you have in gi aren't available in no gi, and vice versa. You know, I
yeah,
do like that. I like the ability to show the art by different ways that you're controlling the opponent with your hands stuck inside of a 10-ounce, 12-ounce boxing
Yeah,
glove.
10 ounce, 12 ounce boxing glove is like, guys, even 8 ounce boxing glove is like, you still have that handicap. It's like, yeah, you can throw it, but what if I want to catch? Oh, you really gotta know how to catch.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. Wow. I think we have a lot of stuff to look forward to.
Oh
So,
yeah,
yeah,
dude. We got a lot of stuff to look forward to.
Definitely.
A lot, definitely, bro.
yeah.
We're,
So,
we're gonna definitely plan a big sand shell seminar, me and him.
okay,
Get situated, obviously maybe next year.
next
'Cause
year.
this year
Okay,
my
yeah. So you
vacation
think,
time's
all
already
right.
screwed.
Yeah.
My vacation
Mm-hmm.
time for work is already screwed, but we're gonna plan it. You know what I mean? And we're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Honestly,
perfect.
we would like for Jerry from Fight Commentary Breakdowns to come out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, come support your boys.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It'll happen again. As you know, I've Xavier knows I just have to finish this tax class I'm taking, and then
Yeah.
I my goal is to finish it by the end of the year. And
Okay.
then once
Jerry's
I
gonna help
finish
me
the
with my
tax
taxes.
class, I mean everyone, because I'm taking the tax class, I start picking up on conversations about taxes, and before
Right.
I wouldn't have noticed, but like a lot of people talk about taxes. So I was like, today someone's talking about depreciation. I was like, I'm gonna study that in a few weeks. So
Yeah.
That's what's
yeah.
up.
So once I get that, and then the goal is when the ankle heals is probably
Yeah,
the
I
time when
remember.
I
How's your
fully
wrist?
finish my tax course, right? So it's like I'll have two wins. My tax course will be finished, and my ankle will be healed. So then
There you
it's like
go.
it'll be perfect. I'll be more mobile. I'll travel around
Right.
more.
Right.
And
How did you hurt your ankle again?
oh, I was running, and then there was a pothole in the street that I didn't see. So,
Only
it's the worst injuries are the ones you don't
you
see,
have
right?
ready.
Same with
You
hits
have
in
ready.
martial arts. The ones you don't see,
You,
the punches that you don't see,
you
the
got
kicks you
you
don't
have
see are
ready.
the
One
worst.
month say only in California.
Yeah. It was in DC actually. It was in DC. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, that's why if it were California, I'd be careful. But like usually in DC, like because the
Oh,
government's pretty
DC,
on top of things. Usually the potholes are covered up, so I wasn't expecting a pothole in the middle of the street, and so like
Yeah. Yeah.
completely took me by surprise. Like the moment I fell, thank goodness I braced, naturally. But the moment I fell, I'm like, oh wow, I'm lucky if it's just a sprain. It was really
bro. Like
bad.
that, dude. I'm just thinking about like, bro. Imagine you walking, a big old, your foot just drops. You're like, wait, what? Like, yo,
Yeah. Yeah, now imagine you're running, like and it's
Right.
like what the fuck? Literally, the first was not like ouch, it was like what the fuck just happened? And then the pain happened. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But the rehab's going. It's just like everything happens for a reason, right? And
Yeah.
I just
Absolutely.
have to cope like
Absolutely.
this, think like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
that's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Exactly. So yeah. Xavier, let's do
Yo,
another talk in the future, you and I. So we'll catch up. And
yeah,
John, we can do a separate talk too. Like you and I can do a separate talk whenever. So like, if you
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
talk more about anything else, any other topic, feel free to
yeah.
do it. Same thing, Xavier. Obviously, you and I will talk more. But yeah,
Of course,
we
man.
can even do things in the future, even if you guys aren't in the same gym, since I paid for this
Sure. Sure.
stupid Zoom subscription every year. Like I can host a lot of people together. So like we can do
Yeah, yeah.
virtually, like
That'd
we
be
can
cool
all
too.
talk together.
You're
So
paying for it, bro. You might as
yeah.
well take advantage of it, dude.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And by the way, tell me
Yes.
before we leave, tell me about that the shirt you have, John. Is that a King Kong? What is that?
Oh yeah, so the logo of my school is a gorilla. So it's
Oh,
just a variation of the logo, actually. Yeah.
okay. I see. Cool. All right, cool. Well, all right, guys. I think this is a good stopping point. Great little first introductory Saturday talk, and I know both of you are going to do a lot of great things. And John, when it's Police Academy time, when you're ready to talk about, I'd love to talk about Police Academy too. That sounds like such a cool conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys will be taking heads off in the police.
No.
he'll be the type. He'll know how to throw correctly. He won't actually damage the people. You know, the suspects will realize he took mercy on them when he threw them to the ground.
Yo, I'm just picturing a police officer doing a scissor sweep on a motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Cool, guys. All right, dude. Have a good Saturday. We will talk very soon.